Now let me give you a brief introduction of Supabase. Supabase is a very nice overall serverless backend structure that you can say, and it's a very nice product all in all. What you can use it for is many different things. So first of all, this actually solves a lot of painful problems. First is that, let's say you want to add authentication, you want to have a database, you want to have real-time notifications, you want to have some functions that run on the internet, want to have some cron jobs. All these different things would have taken you weeks of development, months of development, and you would have to build everything from scratch. For example, authentication, you would have to build things from scratch and be like, okay, how do you make the form? Then you have some server function which inserts the user in the database. You need to have some functions which checks the user. You need to have a database, and you need to worry about all these security things, and you need to worry about all these different functions that you are making. So again, if you don't want to go that route, again, this is not for somebody who works at a company who probably use what the company does. But if you don't want to go through that route, you can easily just use Supabase. And Supabase is very simple, very easy. So they have built-in functions for you, they have built-in structures for you, so you only have to copy paste in a way. And the AI models are very strong now. Bolt and Lovable, they both have integrations. I'm going to talk about in the next video. But all the new AI tools that are coming in the market, and in the future too, Firebase and Supabase have totally taken off. And Supabase, they had 250,000 members this weekend alone, because Lovable had a free weekend thing going on. So Supabase, users skyrocketed, and everybody is using Supabase Firebase. Hundreds of different SaaS applications are hosted on this, but there are many other alternatives as well that you can use. So first alternative is Firebase. So you can use Firebase as well. Firebase is a product from Google. I will give you a brief introduction of both these tools. Very easy to use. You can use Firebase Studio also. And if I go into the solutions or dashboard for both, I will show you that they have, let's say, used first make a simple project. You will see that they have a bunch of things. First is, okay, well, we have a pause project right now. Let's look at a quiz that we have. So we have 11 tables in this quiz. So this is basically a database, right? So we have different tables for a database. Different tables will store different information. You have a user database, achievement database, questions database, quiz session database. You have portfolio database. This is for a quiz app. So again, you have all these tables that will store your information. These are very easy to make. You can use SQL editor to make these tables. You can have templates where you can just use create table name, and you have quick starts that you can also use all these things. So let's say you want Stripe subscriptions, you can have a starter template with Supabase already integrated. So again, building these SaaS tools have become very easy. Building is super easy now because you have existing templates, you have AI tools, you have AI knowledge. You don't even need to debug. Back in the days, 10 years back or 7 years back or 5 years back, you had to debug so many things. You had to find out and dig deep in the documentations. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just use quick starts, templates, existing tools, existing backend hosting, everything combined, and you can easily build these SaaS tools very fast. So these are the templates. So you can use any template. So let's say you want to create a table. You can create a table, run this, it will create a table in the table editor. Then you have to connect these different sort of tables, and I will tell you how to connect these, how to use this. You need some sort of database engineering, not a lot, but you have AI that can basically do the things for you as well. So this also actually has an AI thing. I don't see it right now, but Supabase has the AI editor, or you can say, let's find it out actually real quick. You can say Supabase AI assistant, and this will help you. You can go through this, and this will actually help you make these tables. So let's say if you can just write an English query and be like, okay, I just want to do, and then you can, I don't know, maybe this probably helps, but I'll show you all the AI different AI tools in a separate video. But this is a brief introduction to the tables that you have. So this is a simple database that Supabase will have for you. This is all on the cloud. You don't have to download Supabase or download Firebase, anything like that. You can share it with other team members, and you also have different policies. So it comes with RLS policies, sort of different policies for different tables. So let's say you have a user table, you don't want the public to see the user table, you protect it. You have a restaurant app, let's say, so you have a restaurant table, you want to protect it, put an RLS policy, and then you don't have to do anything. So all those policies can be easily written with AI too. You don't have to use your brain all the time. Second big feature is authentication. So once I'll go through Supabase, then I'll show you what Firebase is. Second is that you have all these different authentications in Superbase, you have different policies, you have different sign-in providers. So let's say you want to have Apple sign-in, you want to have Discord sign-in, you want to have GitHub sign-in, Figma sign-in. GitHub sign-in is very useful for coding-based tools. You probably have seen coding editors that people are using. Easily you can do this. Second is you have a user table already here. So this is the users that will sign in, and you can see all the users here. Fun fact is that Superbase has a 50,000 free monthly active user tier plan. Again, very very nice. But if your applications has heavy database or heavy streaming processes, then you will have to pay something. So you can go through the pricing section. But this is another second amazing feature, which is authentication. You have sign in provider, session rate limiting. Let's say you want to rate limit if if there is a bot tag, or if you don't want the users to sign in multiple times and a few quick sessions. You have all those prefigured. So for example, let's see, if you wanted to have a rate limiting for yourself, you would have to apply some sort of logic. You would have to have some Redis, Upstash, some sort of real-time rate limiting logic in your code. You don't need those things now because already this is provided here. Most of the times you won't need it, but let's say if there's something goes wrong, then you can check these things out. And then attack protection is there, auth hooks are there, there's advanced tools as well in which you can connect other tools, and then there's duration and policy and all those things. So go through these things. Again, most of them will not be applicable for very basic applications, but as we build some complicated things, let's say you have hundred of three or four user auths, and then hundreds of users are doing something and there's bugs, then you probably have to look at these policies or users and all these different sessions and see, okay, if something is working or not. Third feature is the storage. You've probably heard of the AWS S3 bucket. That is a very very famous thing that people use. So this is basically just a cloud object bucket. Anything that you want to store on the cloud, anything, any kind of storage you want to store, you can use this bucket. You can use AWS bucket, you can use Superbase bucket, you can use Firebase bucket. All three are fine. But storage, an example could be that, let's say you take the user's resume, you want to put it in the storage. Let's say user adds photos, Google ads, Facebook ads, you have seen that people will upload photos and then use those photos directly from the portal rather than uploading every time. So you can just store those photos into the bucket. Very very easy. And again, this is a very simple straightforward way, nothing too crazy. Again, we will dive into the code in different videos, but this is a brief introduction on Supabase and Firebase and how you can use. And again, Firebase is exactly the same. Supabase is actually, if you look at the main website, it is actually Postgres data. They openly say that it is a Firebase alternate, right? They probably have removed it, but it is a Firebase alternate, Firebase open source alternate, and you can use their, go to their GitHub also to check what all they are offering. Then you finally have edge functions and real-time stuff. This is very very niche, and we will talk about it as we build some different things. But you can have some edge functions which are always running around, always running, or basically doing any sort of complex logic that you want to put around the server. So again, it's very niche. A lot of times you won't even need it. A lot of time most people never use edge functions. You can just use the basic stuff, call APIs, and just build normal things. But yeah, we'll talk about edge functions when we build some application where we might use it. And then you have all sorts of different things like reports, logs, logging, in the sense, reporting in the sense like, okay, how many customers have logged in, all these different kind of things, and what is the status of storage and caching and database, how many people have sort of, what is the storage right now, has it gone above 100 GB or 50 GB. So all these tiny little things, mostly people use it for authentication, database, and table editing. Mainly that is the whole purpose of having just authentication database. Rest the features will come from different AI tools, and you have seen hundreds of SaaS now which are powered by these little things. So for example, Headshot Pro, you can make a headshot generator very very easily. I don't know if this website is live or not, but I will show you a very simple headshot generator. All these SaaS tools that you're seeing in the market can be easily built by this. You just have a database, you just connect APIs, and then you just offer whatever you want to offer to the user in the end. Yes, you probably need some uh email sending or customer report and all those things. Those are separate, but yes, for the most part people will use this for authentication and database. Same goes with Firebase. So if you check out Firebase, you will see that Firebase is again very very similar. You have storage here, you have Firebase database, you have authentication. The UI looks a little bit different. You will have to enable all these things. So let's say you want to enable Twitter, you will have to add Twitter API key, all these things. You have templates that if somebody asks for password reset, what should they get? If they ask for email address change, what should they get. So again, go through these dashboards, very very easy to use. We will be using them directly. Superbase, Firebase are super important for building quick applications. They are very generous with their free plan, and you can see they have a cloud fire store as well. So this is again a object style database that you can see. It looks a little bit different. They have a document style database, and what you will see here is that you have a data collection, you have a collection called apps, you have a document inside apps. So these are all the different documents, and each document has a different field. So you have category, clause, description, tags, title. You can start a collection, you can add a different document over here, and you can start a complete collection from here. So we can just give it any ID, and then you add all these different fields, whatever you want. The field type can be different. So yeah, we'll be looking at all of this. Firebase Studio enables you to do this, but you have to be careful that this is a document style thing, this is a Postgres thing. Doesn't really matter what it means. All in all, it just really matters that okay, the storing we are storing things in a very different way. So again, our aim is to build SaaS tools fast, super fast, deploy them fast, see how we can build basically anything on the internet with as little knowledge as possible, and combine our coding knowledge to see how to debug and make really complicated different projects later on. But yeah, this is a detailed tool that you can use for again authentication, database storage, real-time stuff, analytics. You can have functions on the internet, on the server, that will power anything and everything that you want. And then you have hosting, you have data connections, you have machine learning stuff too here. A lot of people use a ML kit that Firebase offers, and then if you want anything like this, go check it out. Feel free to check it out, feel free to check out all these tools. And yeah, this is a brief introduction, and you should log in into Superbase Firebase, and yeah, learn it. Start learning Superbase Firebase. Very nice tools. Now let's look at two of the most common AI tools that people are using to build SaaS applications. First is Lovable, and the second one is Bolt. Both of them are very very nice. I've showed you in many different videos about Bolt and Lovable, but you can just see that they both start from a simple text box. Both of them use Vue.js actually. So the problem with Bolt and Lovable is that they use a Vue.js behind the scenes. They don't use React.js, which is totally fine. It is not a problem whatsoever. And there is another thing which is a Replit agent. Again, very very simple, similar tool. Replit agent is again similar. They have some additional features where you can have different databases you can choose. And then you have V0. V0 is a tool by Vercel, right? So Vercel has a tool V0, so you can build things in Next.js as well. You don't have to use Bolt and Lovable. You can use V0. Three tools all in all. So let's do a quick brief introduction of a simple application. We are going to use a directory application, let's say. So we want to have, let's make a directory of awesome Indian dishes. Okay, so it's a recipe based applications. We will plug in uh, simple prompts, and we are not going to use Replit for this example, but we will plug in simple prompts, and you will see how big of a difference a prompt will make. So these are little hacks that we will see, and we have to learn over the by practicing making these apps, that prompts make a huge difference. If you are writing good prompts, it will make a huge difference. So if you are building an AI, you have to include a PRD documentation. You should include a tech stack. You should include a database thing, and you can also include the MVP requirements, which is in the PRD documentation sometimes, or it could be separate. So if you include those three documentation, it will have a far better result. For UI, some of the tips are that for UI, you should have some images. You should attach some references. You should attach all these different kinds of things, and that is very very nice for landing pages. So again, we have all these AI tools and tricks in order to have a production ready application. And again, learning to code is not that bad if you are using AI tools, because if you are stuck in debugging, you can use that. So see, we have a very nice directory. It is probably not powered by a database, so there is no database right now, and soon we will see how we connect different databases. So I've told you Supabase, Firebase, we can make all these different database. And along with this, we will also see an example of Firebase Studio. So let's do Firebase Studio. Let's go to the Studio Firebase, and let's just write this and say, okay, I have reached the workspace limit, and even though I have not made anything, the workspace limit has been reached. Okay, So let's make a directory of awesome Indian dishes, and it will prototype with AI. This is ready, which looks very very nice. So again, there are some core features in these applications. V0 uses shared cn. This is using tailwind css automatically. Bolt uses tailwind css. I have seen Bolt takes a little bit of time. I think they do some optimizations, which is nice. They use vjs. I think this uses vjs. You can check out the code here. You can check out the code in Bolt. You can check out the code here. You can download it, publish it, put your GitHub to it, all these different kinds of things. So again, you can directly connect to GitHub, directly connect to Vercel, deploy your application in minutes, right? You just publish on GitHub, then go to Vercel, import from GitHub. Super easy to deploy applications. Back in the day, it used to take days, right? Like people didn't even know how to connect. So which one is your favorite, right? Which one is your favorite? Bolt, Lovable, or V0? Again, V0 is Shatsian, so I would keep this separate. But in Bolt versus Lovable, I think, oh, it's a tough fight. But yeah, they both are very very nice with single prompt. So this is a single prompt application that we have built. Super easy to make. There is no database. We will integrate Supabase. We'll learn how to integrate Firebase, all these different things. And again, this is still going on. So they have chosen an Indian color, which is orange, white, and green. Again, very very nice overall. And you have a directory app, so now you can build any directory app on the planet. You can have jobs, you can have restaurants, you can have hotels, everything. And once you see how you connect database and authentication, things will become 100 times easier and faster for you. So yeah, this is a very basic introduction and a basic application. So now connecting a database is very crucial, right? Because you have some sort of, you can't just load hundreds of recipes or thousands of recipes from local thing. And if you want users to add their recipes, how will you do that? So you need a database. Many different options of database. You have MongoDB, Firebase, Supabase. You have Vercel databases. You have Redis, Substack. All these many hundreds of databases that you can use. But let's start with a very basic, which is a Google Sheet. Let's integrate Google Sheets. So what we can do is we can have a sheets.new, or you can also start with a forms.new, and you can have a recipe form. Here you can have the name of the recipe, right? You can have sorry about that, it happens to the best of us. You can have the description of the recipe. You can have some sort of tags, or you can have protein content, anything that you can have. So let's publish this, and let's connect to a Google Sheet. If you connect to Google Sheet, you will see that okay, it is untitled, but what we can do is we can save it as a recipe form, save it as a recipe form. And then basically let's see if we have to connect this. Yes, this is connected. And now if you give the access, you open the access to anybody, what you can see is let's fill this form. Let's say name is paneer, description is tasty paneer, and protein is 20 grams. We submit it. We will see the response here. You can also unformat this if you want to see the normal thing. And what we want to do is we want to connect this sheet. So let's go and say connect this Google Sheet to the app. And let's try to do this in all three. Let's try to see if it does it in one go or not. Again, for Google Sheet, there is like some sort of tweak you have to do. You have to use Google API and all those different things. But there is a direct way to connect as well. And again, we are using AI for everything. You don't need to learn how to code for basic SaaS applications. And it is helpful, but absolutely not needed. So again, let's see if it connects, and we will just see the results in a little bit. And okay, do we have the Firebase Studio result as well, which is masala map? And I think this has some sort of different landing page. We don't see the dishes yet because I don't know, this doesn't have any uh sort of different thing. So now let's put this in the Firebase code, and let's see. It was asking about Gemini API because of AI suggestions, and we did not give Gemini API. But this actually, I've seen that Firebase Studio is very nice. in terms of integrating AI features. So if you have any AI feature, you can just put Gemini API and it will work directly with the Gemini API. You can have payment structure, credit structure, anything like that. You should try using Firebase Studio. I've seen like some really nice things that people do. Okay, using local data, let's refresh. There is a problem over here. Load data is not defined. Let's do this. Share change to anyone with the link. Expects these column. The okay, let's we have done this open, and what we can do is the columns are these. So let's copy these and say columns are these. Let's put a comma, and we have opened the link to all, right? So let's paste in there here, let's paste in here, and let's see whether runtime error. We are going to fix it with v0. Let's see what the issue is here, and let's see if it fixes anything for us. But yeah, this is a very small example that you can use. You can directly integrate Google Sheets. You can have any directory. Right now you have hundreds and hundreds of different applications that you can make. You can make a housing.com, you can make recipe.com, you can make jobs.com, you can make a job board, you can make any directory on the planet that you wish like. So again, let's see, we have successfully connected a database which is basic database. You can also make some salary platform where you can see different salaries, you can see different jobs, you can see different clothing thing, you can make an e-commerce store, you can basically make anything, right, just from a Google Sheet. So building is very easy, you don't have to complicate it. If you just have 100 products and you don't want to store it locally, you want to keep changing it, just have a Google Sheet form and you are good to go. You see there's tasty paneer over here, and you can see there's 20 grams of protein. There is other things that we did not add, you can add it in the form, and this will be the same. Again, there is probably something going on with this, but you see that most of the times it will work, and if it doesn't, then you have to debug. This is again another thing that you have to learn in the AI world, that you have to learn how to debug. But yeah, hopefully you make a lot of directory applications using this very simple hack.